We're going to keep it moving. The final fight we're going to give you a preview for this big card in Saudi Arabia is the former 126-pound champion, featherweights we just spoke about, with his one loss being to Nick Ball, and that's Raymond Ford. Ray Ford is now campaigning at 130 pounds. This fight was supposed to initially be versus Anthony Cachachi. Cachachi had to withdraw due to injury, and that sets up the opportunity for Abram Nova to step in on relatively short notice as the replacement. Now, Ford is a fighter that for quite some time, pretty much before I heard anybody else saying it, you've been given high praise and a big fan of his skills. And we're going to see another test again at 130 pounds. He enters as a big favorite as well. Is Nova capable of upsetting Ray Ford?
You're right, bud. I've been on the Ford wagon. You like that, Ford wagon? You know, Ford, Motor Ford, you know. Right? Yeah, I thought you might like that. Yeah, I thought that was a little bit neat. Yeah, I've been on the Ford Mobile for a while. Why? Well, first of all, it comes from Camden, New Jersey. Am I saying it right? Yeah, right? Camden. And some good fighters came from there. I mean, it's a place that can, you might have to learn to fight to come from there, to be quite honest, and I'm always honest about this podcast and about the things that come out of my mouth, and straightforward. I try to be. We had Dwight Muhammad Qawi, light heavyweight champ, cruiserweight champ, come from there. The thing that stands out about Dwight Qawi for me, I mean, he was a guy that pressed you, a guy that was always putting pressure on you, good puncher. But he defeated one of my favorite fighters, Saad Muhammad. He took the title away from Saad Muhammad. And I was there. I was there in Atlantic City. He fought him twice. I was there in Atlantic City when he did it. And then he gave Holyfield really his best fight up to that point. When Holyfield won the cruiserweight title, that was 15 rounds. And he went 15 rounds with Holyfield. He won it. I mean, that was the coming out of Holyfield. You know, that was the real coming of him, where you say, wow, yeah, this guy is real. He is the real deal. And there's only more, you know, there's no ceiling to where this guy can go. There's only up that he can go. So those fights are emblazoned in my mind. And being that he came from Camden, when I started to first hear about Ford, I started looking at him. I watched his fights. I said, wow. First of all, the thing that struck me was he's got good people teaching him. He's got good trainers around him, because he is solid technically. He's got talent, but he is solid. He can counter. He can go get you. He can fight in close. He can use his legs when he has to. His defense is solid. You said it, bud. He's been one of my favorite fighters now, before it was obvious to the public how good he was. You know, before he won that title. I thought he fought a very close fight with Ball in Saudi Arabia. I love both of them, but I said it then, I'll say it now. I thought Ford nicked it out. I thought he nicked it out, but anyway, it doesn't matter. He moved up in weight. It's probably more comfortable for him, and he's in there with Nova, an experienced guy, a guy that, you know, he's been in with good fighters. He's been in there with top guys. A guy that knows how to box. A guy who I believe he'll go about boxing a smart fight on the outside, looking to use his jab, use his legs a little bit, control range, look for pot shots where he gets his spots with that jab, with his legs, setting up, you know, the right moments to get off. Like I said, he's a good boxer. He's a good, solid fighter, Nova. He knows what he's doing. He also mixes in counters nicely. I just think that anything he does, he can't do better than Ford. I mean, I know that's putting it in a simple way, but it's kind of like that song. I can do anything you can do better. Anything you can do, I can do better. Yeah, it almost falls into a, and it's not a knock on Nova. A nice, solid fighter. And Ford will have to be on his P's and Q's to win this fight. Because Nova, if you're sleeping on him, he's good enough to give you problems. He's a good, solid boxer, fighter. And he's got the attitude of a fighter. I think that attitude got him in trouble in one of his fights, a fight that he got stopped. But I'm not going against Ford. This is a guy I've been touting before he was toutable, before everybody, knew that he was more than just a car, that he was actually a top prospect fighter. So I think the jab is going to be the key. If you ask me for one element in this fight, Teddy, what is the key element? I think it's the jab. I think the jab will be very important for Nova to control and dictate the outside. And it will be very important for Ford to make sure he doesn't do that. To make sure that Ford puts himself, you ready, bud? This is how I'm going to finish it. Puts himself in the driver's seat.